Hello, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of Some Bullshit, a podcast where we talk about current events, life's misfortunes, and anything else that makes you say that's some bullshit. I, as always, am your host. Joined with me are my buddies Caleb and Greg.
Hello.
Hey, this is Greg.
This is actually our first ever episode recording locally. We're all in the same room.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird.
It's a great feeling, honestly.
I feel like it's going to help the energy a lot, but it's weird having to make eye contact with people instead of just staring at my screen.
Yeah, I know, but I think it keeps us on. I have a real bad ADHD, so it's going to keep me definitely on topic.
It's going to keep us in check for sure.
Oh, you mean episode 2 when you
No,
definitely weren't clicking your keyboard the
Don't
entire
listen
time?
to this. Don't listen to
Certainly
this.
just playing Minecraft in the middle
This
of
man
recording
is
an
a
episode.
joke.
Okay. Well, yeah. Our PhD student plays Minecraft while he's recording his podcast.
That's not true. I don't do that. Don't out me.
But anyway, yeah, it's going to be an interesting spin on the podcast. Hopefully, you guys notice a bigger change in the energy and the vibe, because now we're all able to sort of bounce off of each other real time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cool.
That Discord
honestly.
delay is like, it kind of messes up conversation a little bit.
Yeah, so previously we were recording the entire podcast through Discord, just in a Discord channel. I don't know if you don't know what it is, it's just a free app where you can have like chat rooms, private chat rooms, public chat rooms, and you can just join. It has a pretty solid voice codec, so the quality is not bad.
Yeah.
But as any of our first and second episode listeners would know, that sometimes talking over each other gets cut out, which now that we're all recording on our separate machines, should be pretty much ironed out.
And I think, too, we can, like, if we're all looking at each other, we can be like, oh, he really wants to talk about something.
Yeah.
I can see it in his eye. I'll shut up now, you know?
It's
Yeah,
like, why does
true.
his mouth keep half opening?
He's like,
He just really wants to talk about the Akiabo
okay.
radio dish.
You're just so bad.
the Arsai Ba?
Yeah.
So
The Asiago.
I'm not going to say how to pronounce that right, just so we can just keep calling it that. And every time I want to say the name, I'm going to call to one of you.
All right, well, so I guess, honestly, that's a pretty good place to pick up. Why don't you just tell us about the Asiago radio dish
Okay, so
and the degradation and the collapse?
so the
Asiago radio dish?
the Asiago, yeah,
Yeah.
the Parmesan-based cheese. Wait, no, wait, the cheese-based radio dish. It was a really fundamental. I'm pretty sure it was the biggest radio dish as far as being an actual dish, not like an antenna setup.
So, like, what are those stations going to do now for listeners?
So actually, it wasn't really
I don't
used.
think that's how that works.
It wasn't used for like radio at all. In the sense of like you tune your car into radio. It was used for radio astronomy. So it was the biggest still dish out there. And it was, I'm pretty sure they used it in the black hole image that everyone really saw.
The one right after Stephen Hawking died?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, which is sad, but
Yeah.
that I'm pretty sure they used that. I'm not sure, but it's really sad that they let it degrade like that. And now I think they want to rebuild it. They're not too certain, but a cable snapped like 2 weeks ago or something, and then like more just kept snapping. And they were trying to attack get a plan of attack to fix it, and then it just fell apart. And did y'all watch that video?
Yeah, I saw the video.
Man, that is sad. Like I don't know if it.
I didn't see the video.
Yeah, I don't think it probably affected y'all as much, but being I've done internships in radio astronomy, and I wanted to say the name. I'm just gonna say the name. The Arecibo dish
That's what I said.
was so iconic, and to see it go down like that, I'm wondering if this is. I didn't really look into how it started to degrade, but I'm wondering if this is like from what was that Hurricane Maria, like just so many hurricanes bashing because
So-
it's in Puerto Rico.
Okay, yeah.
We've had like
I
a
was
record
going to
high
ask
of
where it was
hurricanes this
located.
year.
Yeah, so it's in Puerto Rico, the smaller
Okay.
island,
Yeah,
and it's in Arecibo. I'm pretty sure it's a city.
that holds up.
I was close.
But it was just in the middle of a forest, and it's this
Aristonetti.
big dish in the ground. And then the way astronomers used it is it just points at one direction, so as it scans by something, you collect the data.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because it didn't have any pointing because it was just so massive.
Because my only frame of reference is like a TV dish, and I don't even really know how those work, so.
Just imagine a TV dish, but like,
Just
pretty sure
huge.
it's 100 meters across.
Oh my God.
Think of
It's
the
like bigger than this cul-de-sac.
Wait, does it lay flat or is it vertical?
So it's a parabola. So parabola just means like you've seen like the x squared graph.
I took
it's similar to
algebra.
that. Yeah, it's meant so it reflects all the incoming waves to a single point.
So it's flat. It faces up, or it's like a bowl.
Yeah. Sorry, if you meant like that, yeah, it's level with the Earth.
Right.
It's level with the Earth, and then it curves down into it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Think of satellite from Battlefield.
Oh, the
Not
Battlefield
game
3 map, right? It
references.
was either Battlefield 3 or Battlefield 4. They had a
I think it
map
was
with a
4.
huge like dish satellite.
Did they
You could-
really?
yeah,
Yeah.
you could like drive around in and stuff. It was
That's cool.
Yeah, it was a cool map. And like the Asiago one, it was falling apart and it had holes in it.
Well, that was just like hindsight.
Yeah, it's like The Simpsons. They predicted the future.
They have on like multiple occasions too.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't done any research to talk
Are you
about.
are
this
you saying
topic, but
Battlefield predicted this?
yeah, I think Battlefield was directed by Matt Groening.
Dang.
Oh no,
That's
it's a full loop.
crazy.
Well, when you make like thousands of episodes, you're gonna predict something.
That's kind of my mentality. He's been making the show for what, like 20 something years.
yeah, it's,
Yeah.
I think the longest running now.
Like eventually, you'll just happen to make a joke about Trump being president or like a virus infecting
Yeah.
the population or
Oh,
something.
yeah.
And you'll just
A
eventually.
lot
you'll
of people
be right.
joked about that because back when Trump was, kind of in the limelight of like media with his show, and then before that,
Right.
they were like Trump for president, right when he was reforming New York, and now it's it actually happened.
Yeah, for sure. I remember like the roast of Donald Trump that was in like
It was a while ago.
2013 or 14.
I've never seen
Yeah.
that.
And like at the end of it, he was just like, "I'm gonna run for president."
Oh shit.
Yeah.
He said that?
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's crazy.
I totally forgot about that. Was that the one where the super cringe Jersey Shore guy was on?
Yeah, fucking. Was it the situation?
Mike
Wolfpack?
situation.
Oh, the
Yeah.
situation.
He just got out there and just like, just bombed the entire set.
It is
bro.
an absolute cringe compilation.
So
It's
good.
so hard to watch.
Recommend watching
his
it, though.
set on the roast of Donald Trump. If you haven't seen it, I'd recommend watching it. It's hilarious, and Donald Trump is a good sport, or as good as you could be, just getting roasted.
I
by
think he had some
comedians.
good comebacks too, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, I feel like they don't arrange this. Like somebody has got to help them write their jokes because sometimes they get up there and they just come back hard.
You think so?
I don't know. I don't feel like Donald Trump is really the roast guy. Like it's good for publicity, but I don't think he'd be up there just writing his own jokes. Like he's probably got a team
That's very
I could
possible.
see him delegating
of
that.
just like comedy
Yeah.
Jew writers just hanging out.
But
on
That's
this
how it
board.
works. Yeah.
No, I would. Have you seen the roast at the White House dinner where Obama's president and
Oh,
he
yeah.
invites Trump because Trump was pushing hard for his birth certificate,
Oh yeah.
and then he just totally roasts him on it.
Yeah.
He just kept like he's like, well, if Donald gets in the White House, this is what it's gonna look like, and it's like the Trump Palace, but the White House Palace. I love that roast.
Dude, so many people say like that was the moment. He was like,
Gotta
I'm going to do it.
Got to do it.
Yeah.
He's like, yep.
I mean, honestly, if you're him and you're just getting thrashed by Obama after talking shit on him, it's like you have to try.
You have to do something,
He'd
right?
be like, I could go for it.
But it's like if he ran and lost, then he would be even a bigger laughing stock. So it was kind of a big gamble to take. I don't think he cares,
Yeah.
but like the internet would have had a field day with that if he lost the first election.
yeah. I mean, still, there's no bad publicity, right?
Yeah,
So-
for sure.
That's
I mean,
true.
he would have just gone
He
home and
definitely
wiped his
follows that
eyes with
motto.
just so much money. He would have just
Yeah, he'd have
wiped
been
his
like-
tears away with
He'd have been like, I'm
millions of
so
dollars.
sad, just thousands of dollars, just like crumpling. He throws it to the crowd.
Just a tissue
Yeah.
box with taped ones.
Yeah, right.
Just goes back to his personal skyscraper and just hangs out.
If I was going against him, I'd just go up and just be like, Donald Trump, you're fired.
Okay. Come on, dude. That's easy pickings. But so to touch back on the satellite dish story, you said there was plans to bring it back, or is it just gone now?
I mean,
Not
from
the
what
satellite dish,
it's just, I mean, it's
it's a
you could-
radio dish.
yeah, it's a dish of sorts,
Satellite radio.
dude. It's not Sirius XM.
Dude, I just created Sirius XM.
Oh no.
It's
founders
like satellite
among
plus
us.
radio. But so what it seemed like was they were planning to restore it, and then the cables kept failing, so they were like, this is not going to work out. The cables are snapping under loads they shouldn't, and so then they kind of gave up on that and were letting it sit and figuring out a way to go around it, and then it just all fell apart. So if they
Damn.
were dedicating money into repairing it, I think they'll probably still do it. It's definitely going to get more expensive.
You think they just rebuild it at a certain point?
Yeah, it's pretty cornerstone to the radio astronomy field, but radio astronomy is not really that big of a topic in astronomy. Like right now, the
It's not
hot
niche.
spots are like exoplanets. Everyone's on exoplanets, and they're going
True.
crazy. So it's kind of
What is an exoplanet?
so exoplanet just means a planet that's outside of our solar system.
Okay.
So outside exo
Yeah.
planet, and so everyone, there's a lot of different ways you can look at those. Not really I don't think there's any good ways to do it with radio astronomy, but so that's why radio astronomy isn't in the
I
limelight.
see.
But
Yeah.
that's kind of how astronomy goes. Is
But
like
it's still such like
whatever's
a
prominent.
it's like a monumental like thing to have just fallen apart basically.
Yeah,
Just
I mean the world's largest dish
yeah.
just fell apart, and so it's a sad
See,
thing.
that's crazy. Like you don't think of like I guess it's in Puerto Rico, so it sort of makes sense that it would just fall apart because
Just
like
take a
all of
beating.
Puerto Rico fell apart not that long ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Not to make light of a serious situation, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things that you would think would be taken a little more seriously.
Well, I think when a whole country like starts to fall apart like that, they kind of forget about things like that.
That's true.
Because science is not on the pressing matter when you're trying to survive.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it's all
You're
about
right.
humanity at that
Yeah,
point.
unless you're like getting threatened by an asteroid, you're like, we got to get off this rock.
We gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see there was a story I saw recently that was like NASA doesn't know what is hurtling towards Earth.
Dude.
I saw that too. Me and Greg talked
yes,
about
you
that.
told me about that.
It says NASA has no idea what's hurtling towards Earth, but and then in the subline it's like it'll miss, but NASA doesn't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like okay, I don't need
Well,
to read this article.
I hate clickbait like that because it's like, well, they don't know, the exact chemical composition of it, but they were like, oh, if it's an asteroid, it's probably nickel or something, so you can guess, but we
It's
don't
just
know
gonna-
what
and
it
it's
is.
just gonna cruise by.
Yeah,
No,
so-
that's the thing is like the article was like previously believed to be an asteroid.
yeah,
like,
and they were
what does
like,
that
what is
mean?
It's a Ford Taurus. It's
Yeah.
just
yeah, 034 Taurus zooms by Earth.
what was previously thought to be an asteroid is now Elon Musk's Tesla making them.
Turns out they missed the sun. No, I love this meme I saw the other day, and it was like NASA whenever an asteroid barely misses Earth by 154 million miles, and it's like the blurred guy sweating.
I
He's
saw
like,
that too.
that was so funny.
Yeah, because how I read those, because as someone, I think I've talked to one of you about this, but like I used to have this like obsessional fear about asteroids just hitting Earth and like ending humanity.
Yeah.
Like, and I would think about it every once in a while and just wake up in the middle of the night and just be like, oh shit, like I gotta check the news. Is there an asteroid on its way?
Yeah.
And like every once in a while you'd find one that's like, in 2 months there's one that's gonna get close, and I would like worry about it for 2 months. But so now when I know not to read those, but when I do, it's usually like, oh, asteroid, it's gonna be like millions of miles away, and then I just stop reading the article.
Yeah.
It's like I don't even give a
Yeah.
shit. So when I saw that article, it's like NASA doesn't know, but we're fine. I'm like, cool.
As long as it's not like getting close to the moon's orbit, we're pretty solid.
Yeah, because usually like when it gets close, it's like 18 times further than the moon is from Earth. or
Exactly.
something.
That's usually they'll use like a ratio like how far away the moon is.
like it's close in space, but it's like it's not close relatively.
Yeah, you can do that with any kind of topic like pandemics, war. So you like just be careful. I don't want you. You could worry about so much out there.
No, I know. And fortunately for me, and now I'm medicated, but like fortunately for
Yeah.
me, it's been pretty much limited to like just things that are way out of my control.
I feel like space is super out of your control because like if there's a pandemic, you're like I can just lock myself inside.
Oh, I
and
hate space.
asteroids like, yeah, it's just gonna hit
Yeah, I'm
you.
just lock
Dude,
myself
space
in
in
the
the ocean.
Yeah.
The ocean.
See, oddly enough,
Dude.
I'm fine with the ocean.
No,
One of my
dude.
biggest fears
No,
is
no,
like
no.
just being dropped in the middle of the ocean.
Really?
Yeah, because I mean,
Played Subnautica once.
like I can swim. Right? If I had that set up, it'd be pretty dope.
If you haven't played Subnautica, play Subnautica.
Definitely
it's an
fun.
amazing game.
But yeah, being dropped in the middle of the ocean, and me and Kellen both were on the swim team, and so we're both decent swimmers. And I imagine I could tread water for a few days
You
lightly,
could float for sure.
and float. Yeah, I would tread water and float for a few days, but then I'd just be like, because you start drinking salt water, you're losing water content. Like, I don't know, it's just so
Yeah,
scary, and then
that's true.
it's just so hopeless. Like it's almost to me like a purgatory, because
oh, interesting.
that's what it comes down to is like you just look in all directions. No matter how far you swim, it's just round ball of water, and
Yep.
it's scary because if you're dropped right in the middle of
Actually,
the Pacific,
I get that.
it's like and that's that's why it scares me.
There's one thing. It's always like an extremely sort of surreal experience, like when you're standing on a beach and you just look out and then the Earth just ends, or like not ends,
Yeah.
but it just horizons off. Like that's an insane like
And it's-
thing to be able to visualize.
It'd be cool if they had like beach towers so you could go higher and see more.
Oh, true. But it wouldn't be that much more, right? It'd have to be
You get a
so
little bit
tall.
more. Yeah, I forget how much more.
It's like unless they built like an actual skyscraper, but that would be so dangerous next to
So
the coast.
Miami?
Yeah, basically.
that's why people go there.
they just want to see further.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you live on the coast, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
I don't. I think anywhere
I'll
like on a
stand by
fault
that.
line or the coast is just scary, or near volcanoes. in general.
I'll say it to people I care about too. If you live on the coast, you're an idiot.
Yeah, you're like parents move there, and you're like, yeah, idiots.
Yeah, you're idiots. Well, see, they did the smart thing. They live on a lake, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They're on the coast of a lake. It's not so it's safe.
Imagine there's a tsunami, a lake tsunami.
A fucking asteroid hits the lake,
Yeah.
causes an
Just be like, we can't help this.
inland tsunami.
You just call them up, idiots.
Should have moved.
Yeah, shouldn't have lived there.
Idiots.
Got to live underground.
That's funny. Speaking of, dude, my parents can't stop doing rich people things. Also,
That's kind of
Okay.
great though. That they've worked hard and they can do that now.
well, and I mean, I don't mean to say that like to flex wealth or anything, but they're well off. But we did I talked about it on the first episode. They did like a wine tasting through their bank.
Oh yeah.
Right? Like their bank sent them
So
like this box of like
bougie.
several bottles of wine. And I mean, I'm glad they're enjoying retirement. They're making the most of it, which makes me ultimately super happy. And I called my dad today while I was taking a walk, and he's like, "Hey, I'm at a winery. Can I call you back?" I was like, "Okay, sure." He's like, "We're at this vineyard." I was like, "All right, cool."
I just picture him with like a cigar and just a glass of wine, and he's just like, "Don't have any hands
he
free
just
for
for sure
this."
has like a floral shirt on.
Yeah,
He loves
Oh,
his floral shirts.
He's
No.
always looking like Hawaiian.
Funny story about cigars. My dad actually used to smoke cigars like very rarely, but as a kid, I got it into my head that like smoking was awful, and I was like, I don't want you to die, and I was like crying and stuff. So
Yeah.
he like stopped smoking cigars,
Even though like
which is super sweet.
It's a lot of weird experiences as a child, bro.
Yeah, I know.
Well, they're very varied too. Very varied. That sounds weird.
Very varied.
very varied.
Yeah, my childhood was turbulent to say the least.
Turbulent. I like it.
It was turbulent. Yeah, I mean, I had it on the list to talk about, but my my journey through middle school and elementary school when I lived in Alaska was sort of rough. I look back on it and laugh now because it was like, what can you do? But in hindsight, it was basically like 40-year-old teachers just bullying an 8th grader.
That's amazing.
Imagine that experience though.
Yeah, I mean, it was tough at the time because it's like as a kid, you're just taught to respect authority and listen to authority. And as parents, it's like, who are you going to trust? The teachers. You're not going to trust the kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the kid is like, he's selfish. He wants what's best for him. But eventually, thank God my parents came around. They're like, okay, you can't be doing all this stupid shit
Yeah.
all that often. Which, I mean, I was sorta, but like the reactions were insane. So like I'll omit names for, I guess, legal reasons, but I will use initials. I went to this school called PNA in Alaska. It was a private school. It was a tiny school. So my middle school, like 6th, 7th, 8th grade classes were all like 10 or less people.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was a tiny school. Everybody knew
nice.
everybody. Yeah, and the school was shaped like a big L. So there was like one hallway where the upperclassmen were. So like upperclassmen, like I guess it would be like 6th through 8th,
Mhm.
and then the other hallway had like K through 5. And so everybody knew everybody, and you would be kind of in all the hallways. So people had friends that were in like 4th grade when they were in 6th grade because it's like we were all just. But anyway, and the teachers in each hall taught only the kids in that hall. So if you were in the upperclassmen hall, you got taught by those teachers. And I didn't go there in the younger grades. I actually went to a different school up until middle school. So when I went to PNA, I was in middle school, and like the majority of my teachers just had this bug up their ass about me, dude. I don't know what it was. Like I have ADHD. I'm like a kind of a non-controllable kid. I was kind of a non-controllable kid, but like they were harsh, bro.
They only did it to you?
Yeah, they singled me out. I think honestly what they were looking for is like it was such a cookie cutter school. Like everybody was like Jack and Jill, and I was like Rick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I came in and I was just like Randy,
Off
or
the
something.
charts.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
off the charts. They couldn't even control it. So this one story that I flashed my teacher story is probably one of my favorite
Okay.
favorite stories
You
to
can't
tell.
just hop right into
I
I
flashed
flashed
my
my
teacher.
teacher.
No, so I mean, the I flashed my teacher story is probably my favorite story to tell because it's the most asinine thing, like that I remember about my childhood.
Would you
So,
call
like-
it bullshit?
Yeah, I mean it's some bullshit for sure.
Definitely.
I was in like tutorials or like tutoring. It was-
Tutorials?
that's what it was called. Tutorials.
I've never heard it called that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
it's
was
like-
in tutorials.
Yeah, they would call it tutorials. It was like an after school thing where you could hang out with a specific teacher and then you could like
What?
go over homework with them. So
I
it was
just
like
called
literally
it always tutoring. Never
literally a
anything else.
tutorial. Yeah, that's what it was called, tutorials. And this one teacher who I don't even remember his name, so I can't forget it. We'll call him Steve. But Steve was
Imagine that's his
new to
real
the
name.
school. Imagine he gets doxxed.
I'm doxxed.
But Steve was new to the school. He was a younger guy too, probably one of the younger teachers there. And I think he came in as like one of the cooler teachers, but eventually like they kind of wore him down to be like, you can't let so many things fly.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah, it did suck. And he was really cool when he got there, and like a lot of the students liked him. And then he ended up like more of a hard ass at the end of the year.
Oh,
But
yeah.
man.
so I was in tutorials, and I want to preface the story actually before I get into it. It's like my family is not, we're not very generously gifted with behinds.
Oh.
We don't have much of a butt.
Okay.
Not really much going on back there.
You lacking the caboose?
Yeah, as a result, I have a tall crack, right? There's no
Yeah, you gotta-
curvature, so the crack goes higher.
You got a long cabin.
Yeah.
No caboose.
You're like the Arctic caps, dude.
Yeah, exactly. I have just a tall crack, no
Extended cab?
curvature. So, and I say that because it's like
Short bed.
when I was
Yeah.
when I was a
No
kid,
bad,
before I put any sort of like meat on my bones, my ass crack was pretty much always out because like
What are you talking about right now?
I'm getting
Let
there.
him get
Dude.
to it.
My ass crack was pretty much always out. If my shirt was up, you could see my ass crack, 100%. Because
Why didn't you just pull your pants up?
Because I wore them at my hips. That's another problem. I didn't realize how to wear my pants until I was like 13 years
There's
old.
no way your crack goes all the way to the top of your hip.
All right, we're not going to talk about this. It goes.
Hold up. Stand up.
No, I'm not. Gonna,
Hey, we're local now?
show me. No. So anyway,
Pull up your shirt.
there was like this big like I want to say kind of like a picnic style table in the middle, but it had like those plastic chairs on either side. And one of my friends was on the other side of the table. He said, "Hey, can you help me with this?" And I had like just figured it out because I had just asked him for help. And I lean over the table. My shirt comes up. The guy sees my butt crack, and he immediately calling to go to the principal's office. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, you can't just expose yourself to me in class. And I was like,
wait.
and I didn't know what to say. I was like, what do you mean? He said, I saw, like, he is like, you exposed your like behind to me. And I was like, no, I didn't. What are you talking about? So he like kicks me out of the class. This is like a grown man, by the way. And I'm like 11. And he kicks me out of the class and sends me to the principal's office. I'm sitting there just like both pissed and kind of scared. Because I'm like, I'm in the principal's office as a kid, and I don't want to be
always
here.
going to be scared there.
But this is somewhere I've been lots of times.
Okay.
Because of just how shitty this school was. I had been
Those are
suspended
future stories for
a
sure.
few other times. Yeah, we'll save them. But so he comes in and he tells the principal in front of me. He was like, yeah, he exposed himself to me while we were in tutorials.
What in the hell? Does he just say it like that?
Yeah, and doesn't give him any
No
context. So he's like, he exposed his behind to me in tutorials, so I sent him here. And I was shocked. I just put my hands up. I was like, what are you talking about?
The principal in his head is like, you're just dancing on the table, mooning this guy.
And the principal hated me too. And I swear to God, never said my name right once in the 3 years I went to that school.
Cooley.
It was always Colin, no matter
Oh,
what.
no.
No matter what. And we
Oh, is your
paid this
name not
man to go to
Colin?
his school.
And he knew. He
And
definitely knew.
Yeah, 100%. He hated me. It was all out of spite. For sure he got my name wrong. But so then they call my parents and the professor or the principal goes, "Hey, your son exposed himself to a teacher.
Oh my!
You gotta come
gosh.
get him out of here. Like he's AWOL. He's like
Yeah, he's
showing his ass.
He's going
to everybody.
crazy.
Come get him out of here. Everybody's seen his ass. Whatever. That's what my parents are
He's
thinking.
running
right?
new through the school.
And at this point, I had been in and out of trouble at this school so often that like my parents weren't unused to these calls. Like this wasn't anything irregular. But this time my mom was like, what are you talking about? Like my mom was actually like, what do you mean? And then so she comes down and I had the
she's
conversation.
on the hunt. She
Yeah, and I
knows.
have the conversation with her in front of him. I was like, I leaned over the table to help my friend, and my butt crack was out, and like he saw my butt crack, and then immediately sent me to the principal's office. Didn't even give me a chance to fix it, and then my principal was like, that's not what he told me. It was like, it's my word against yours kind of thing. It's like he said he exposed his behind to me in class, and I'm like, dude, I'm not an idiot. I have ADHD, but I'm not just gonna show this dude my ass in class. Like, what kind of arrangement do you think we have here? It's like, I'm here to learn how to do math, not to show you my cheeks, man.
Wrong type of school.
And yeah, my mom was like, so I think they suspended me for 2
There's
days.
that division.
Oh yeah. there
Oh
you go.
no! They suspended me for 2 days, and it was basically just a vacation because my mom was like, "Yeah, don't worry about it." Like,
It's that. So it was the new guy, right?
yeah,
I bet you the new guy just got like talking to, and he was so worried because he just got this job too, and he's like, I don't know what to do. Just saw cheeks. Gotta go. It wasn't even like, it was just your ass crack, right? So. Yeah, right. Like, especially after I got reprimanded.
It was like the tip of my crack too.
Well, you know, like when you have extended cabs, you can't see the bed. You don't know what the bed looks like.
Crack.
Yeah, top crack.
Top down crack.
Yeah, you can't tell. Like if you don't have any butt, there's no differentiating the top crack versus lower down.
So then he took that and ran with it fully to make it seem like I just flashed this. I showed him the full moon in class.
Maybe they were all like, you're being too easy on this kid. Like we all hate him.
Which is insane, dude.
Imagine there was like a coup.
So we'll do a little bit of rapid fire too. So I got sent home for sharpening my pencil too often.
Okay.
Yeah, I was sharpening my pencil too often and too loudly.
Did they say that
in English class? Yeah. This
is wild, actually, though.
Yeah, and then another one. I got my computer privileges taken away for clicking my mouse too much.
Okay.
I got kicked out of the school, or I got removed from the school field trip because the kids behind me were talking. I had my mouth shut. I didn't want to get sent home.
You're the black sheep of it.
Still got sent home. I was 100% the scapegoat. Like,
yeah.
Everything that could happen, could get blamed on someone, got blamed on me.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. And I kept in touch with one of my buddies who went there, my buddy Daniel, and he said like after I left, it basically like it just passed on to someone else. Like there was another kid who just like kept getting in trouble no matter what.
Jeez.
It's like it was just like every year or whenever someone
Yeah.
would come out. But that like fucked me up big time, dude. It ruined my appearance. Like I didn't trust anybody except for my parents for the longest time.
Should have just gone to public school.
I know.
Everyone
I did.
gets treated that way.
No, I did. And, and that's what I realized. I went to public school 8th grade when we moved back to Texas.
Yeah.
I transferred to Truett, a public school in Houston. It was a middle school.
Docs.
Dox him?
Docs Truett. Yeah, it's it's off. I don't know. I don't even know the road.
The street name.
But you can look it up. It's just Truett Middle School in Houston. Don't go there. It's fine. But like the things I was getting suspended for were just like the normal things like kids were doing. Like kids were just calling the teachers by their first names and just like having sex in the bathroom. And this kid was just always smoking cigarettes and like in passing periods and stuff. It's like, dude, I got sent home for having a tall crack. Like I just thought,
that would never fly in public school. They'd be like, just another one's naked.
Yeah, right. It's like
True.
nothing to see here, dude.
Yeah.
It was a weird experience,
dude.
man.
I actually have an experience with a little bit of bullshit from some teachers. Well, just one teacher, similar to you. This is, and being in the public school system, I mean, I feel like when you get reprimanded, you generally you get reprimanded for the right thing or like something that's appropriate. You know?
Yeah.
Because they deal with a lot of crap. I feel like
They do for sure.
and so they weed out the lesser offenses.
Yeah.
And so this was, I believe, 3rd grade, and we're gonna call this teacher Mrs. S. Okay, so this is Mrs. S, and I was at I'm just gonna say Howell Middle School in Victoria, Texas. and dude, you know what's crazy?
Okay, here's the issue here.
Everybody's getting dogs.
Here's the issue here. Why would you not say the real name if you're just going to use a different school that's actually in the city?
Well, I'm using the same school. It's the same school.
Okay.
Well, you can, yeah. I mean, the school doesn't matter. It's as long as you're protecting the
school
identity
doesn't
of the
matter,
people.
yeah. And then like the names mixed up, so you couldn't even you could just pull a hat and it may be right from the old teachers, but you're not gonna be able to get it.
All right.
And anyway, so we were in class, and it was middle school. I think it was 6th or 7th grade, and I don't know if y'all had this, but we had periods, so I think we did 7 classes.
Right.
And so
We had something similar when I went. Was that Truett?
it was like 3rd period or something. And it's funny. So yours was shaped like an L.
Mhm.
Ours was shaped like an H because it was Howell.
Really?
Yeah.
That's kind of cool.
It was kind of cool. Well, they expanded later. Well, when they first made it, it was an H, and now it had been like a mutated H, but it still had the H form. And anyways, I thought that was cool.
It was cursive.
We both had specific shapes.
True.
And so 3rd period, right? And I think it was, I don't remember what it was, maybe English or something. And we were writing our paper, let's say, and I was always kind of a I was gonna say disturbing child. That's not right. Disruptive.
Always disturbing.
Yeah, I was a disruptive child because I had ADHD
Right.
diagnosed, and I don't think it was until after this that
Diagnosed.
till I got
Twice in one episode.
Till I got on medication, and so I was like full blown, like off the wall, and it was really hard to keep my attention span longer than a minute or so. And the teacher just told us to do something, and we were doing something, and she always got on to me. But today was different. She was really upset with me, and she had just reprimanded me. And so I was just sitting there quietly, and I was really trying to focus. And when I'm really focusing with something in thought or like writing, I have to do something else to keep my mind complacent. And so I was swinging my legs real aggressively.
That's the ADHD.
Yeah. And so I was swinging my legs out of my desk real aggressively, and the desks weren't very, very big. They were like, like maybe a foot wide, and like
You're just vibrating this poor classroom, or what?
the point was that my foot swing out past the extent of the desk leg, so my feet were out in the like walking area between the desks.
Okay.
And the teacher was walking by, and I guess she didn't see my legs, right? And so I ended up kicking her, and I wasn't looking because I was so focused on writing, because I just got reprimanded. I was like, I gotta do this, and so I kick her in the leg, and she's like, Gregory, and she's like, you're not gonna believe this, but this teacher almost got fired because of this. But she said, "Get your little fat ass out in the hallway," because I was I was a little rotund boy back then.
Oh my god!
I was the rotund one.
You know she wanted it too. She probably saw you swinging her legs.
Yeah, I
and just
feel like
walked in front of it.
I feel like she was boiling, and it was just steaming out the top.
Yeah, she was at her.
She was ready, and so she kicked me. She's like, "Get your little fat ass out in the hallway." And there's a desk right outside the door, because there's a little indention for the hallways, and or for the doors in the hallway. And I go sit out there, and she walks out there like 5 minutes later, and she gets in my face, and she's like, "I don't want to see your little fat ass doing that again." And I was like, "Oh my god!"
She just really wants to hammer it home,
Dude.
She really went all in on the fat card.
She's like, he can't leave school today unless he knows he's fat.
And I didn't have any, I didn't care I was fat. I was, I was like however old. I was just like, I'm happy. I'm eating whatever.
Eating so many nuggets, probably.
Yeah, I just went home and ate so much ice cream.
Nuggets went hard.
And so and I told my mom later, I debated not telling my mom. And
You gotta tell your mom.
I was like, my mom definitely would care about this a lot, and she's gonna make a big deal. And sometimes you don't want it to be a big deal.
Yeah.
You're like whatever, I don't care. But then it becomes a big deal. And I told her, and she said, no way, I don't, that's crazy. You're not lying. And my mom always trusted me, no matter
That's
what I
good.
said.
That's really good.
And so she was like, okay, I'm gonna go tell the principal and all that. So she told them, and then apparently my mom, the principal, and an officer had a chat with her, and they almost fired her. They were
Holy shit.
Yeah.
She was probably so respectful to you to the end of the year.
Yeah, she didn't really. I know they took me out of the class.
Can I get you a
That,
Sprite?
that would
But
make
she didn't
more
talk
sense.
to me after that. She did, and I was like, well, that's probably. That's for the better.
Should have called her fat ass.
She'd be like, yeah, I don't want to see your little fat ass talking to me like that again.
What's up, Miss Fat Ass?
Dude,
God.
imagine I'm the reverse bully. I played the reverse Uno card.
Have fun almost losing your job.
Yeah, right. I think she ended up switching schools 2 years later after she may have had a contract or something. And it's I felt bad because she had one bad day, and I didn't want to lose her
You gave her
job
the
over
boot,
one bad
dude.
day. Huh?
You gave her the boot.
I know.
Yo, you just gave me a great idea.
Okay.
What if teachers had sports player level contracts for schools?
Dude, that'd be cool.
They need to get paid more though.
Imagine.
Well,
I was gonna say their contracts would be something like, we'll pay you $29,000 for the year, but
It's we'll give you just enough to scrape by, and that's
True.
it. Come work for our school.
We have a whole bunch of kids just curse at you all day and yell at you. Do you want to get paid to do that?
but you're guaranteed
No.
3 years, so
Yeah,
That's
I'll
what they
take
do
it.
in college, right? Tenure track and stuff. So I think there is contracts with teaching, maybe.
But there's
I don't know.
Maybe-
real
maybe more
benefits of
professors
being a
then.
college professor.
Yeah, and then you also you have more jurisdiction over your teaching environment and
dude, imagine a draft though for colleges.
scheduling. I would go to that.
Dude, I would watch that. for sure.
teachers can submit their bid to be in the next college professor,
Dude,
and they're like,
it
well,
sounds like
this
a
guy's
TV show more than a draft.
honestly, maybe we should produce this.
Dude, we should do a TV show based around teachers. That's not been a thing. Has that been a thing?
Are you
been
smarter than a
smarter
fifth grader?
That's not teacher based.
Okay.
That's child based. That's
Yeah, what is it? Last Chance You, that Netflix football show,
Oh,
but just
yeah.
about teachers.
that was about. Wasn't that college football though?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I said the football show.
Yeah.
I was
Wait.
talking about,
but
teachers.
okay. Sorry, my bad. I just
So it's like where you go when you're like not making it as a teacher and you have to like really try to
That's
get back on top.
amazing, bro.
Crazy.
Or you call some kid a fat ass and you have to go through it.
you go to last chance.
Dude, sign Mrs. S up, dude.
Yeah.
She's ready.
She's probably that's where she transferred to.
Can we go back to like I'm smarter than a fifth grader? They're like, where are they getting these kids at? Like, I know I was not at that level. Like, they'll be on the show and they'll be like, what is Avogadro's number squared? And they're just doing it in their head.
All right, well,
And
not
it's-
to be crass, but like pretty much all of them were Oriental, right? So it was like
No, they weren't.
Not at
It was
all.
a bunch of white kids, bunch of
Nah,
black kids. bunch of
Rarely
Mexican
did.
kids.
The
There's no way.
finalists were always like, come on, some shade of like educated brown.
what does that mean?
You know, like really smart. You know, because
That's what you call it?
like yeah.
I just call it smart kids.
Oh, okay.
It's called
Why
tan.
get these bougie terms?
Well, I don't see color. Sorry.
What you just said brown,
Okay,
dog. Educated brown.
No, what I mean is like the Indian kids are extra smart because they have to work mad hard, and their parents had to
Well,
work
yeah.
mad
I mean, they
hard.
have expectations to live up to.
I
Unfortunately,
think you guys have it skewed. So I think on average, humans are pretty much level in intelligence, but you have way more Indian people and Asian people, so their upper end is going to be a lot higher than ours,
Well, I mean, also
and more
their
quantity.
level of discipline is also
no, yeah.
higher
I
than
mean,
ours.
that's the main point. Is like they're held to a higher standard by their families.
And I think that there's still plenty of kids that flunk out in Asia and
Oh, yeah,
in
for
India,
sure.
and it's even more than here. So I think it's a little skewed by their numbers, and that's why we see
That's
like
possible.
if someone's immigrating to the U.S., their parents probably have raised them well, like you said, discipline.
Yeah.
And they're probably, I mean, I would say they could have an above average intelligence in that way. Or not intelligence.
Yeah, I mean,
but
well, my dad
schooling.
worked with an Indian guy, and he said he took the SAT for fun just to see what he would do.
Mhm.
So it's like that's a different level
That's
of
beautiful.
like.
I mean, think about it. If you're like a smart person, or you think you're smart, and you like learning, like what else are you gonna do if you just work a basic job or something?
That's what I'm
like that?
saying. You
Yeah.
just got it's the grind. I mean, and I have a lot of respect for him, but come on, they definitely rigged it. Who's smarter than a fifth grader? Which is some genius.
Yeah.
some
Well, I mean, half
genius
of
kids.
those questions were just like I would have learned that in maybe 10th grade. Like,
Yeah, it's like, hi, my name is Skylar, and I started reading in the womb. Like,
Yeah, my
I
mom did
invented
audiobooks.
math.
do you think they were special bred for the show?
100%.
Right.
It's just a smarter
They just
than
had,
a
like,
fifth grader
embryonic
farm just
stem
pumping
cell.
out like hawking kids.
And then the fifth grader level for them was like the most expensive private school ever or something.
yeah.
Because like there's
just like the Harvard of
Yeah.
elementary school.
like definitely it's like 2x. So like 10th grade, like you said, for
100%.
regular public
for
schooling.
sure. But their parents are paying like $18,000 a year for them
Oh,
to
yeah.
go there.
College level.
College level, yeah, that's funny, dude. I always love those stories where it's like this 12-year-old kid just graduated college today. It's like, holy shit, it makes me feel extra bad about myself.
Yeah, I see those and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll do stuff when I'm 50.
Yeah. Straight up. Straight up.
Well, if you can find like examples of any field, you can be like, oh, there's some cool dude that did stuff in his 50s, his 20s, his 30s, his 40s.
Yeah,
But it is, I will agree, it is super impressive when they do it like early on. Like Isaac Newton at my age had invented calculus already, and I'm like, cool. Like I understand it barely.
Yeah, but the thing
I'm at your age and I don't even know calculus.
Yeah.
So it's like,
the
What
thing
is
is
calculus?
like back then, what else was there to do besides invent gravity? You know.
dude, that's okay.
Catch
Don't say
diseases and
invent
die.
gravity.
True.
No,
pretty much enslave people, catch diseases, and die.
Yeah, I mean that was
those are
basically
the three
life.
options.
That was the.
If you wanted a living, yeah, sure.
I feel like cars and like the internet are sometimes a curse because, you know, you waste a lot of time driving, like in a certain way.
No, I will.
You'd
yeah.
waste more time in a horse and buggy though. So
Well, no. If you
Yeah,
just
but
were
you
in a
didn't have
city,
to go anywhere back then.
yeah, they would just walk home from school and then they'd be like, we don't have to commute or I don't have to worry about internet or whatever. Like
They just go to the farm.
yeah, like think about the responsibilities we have nowadays
yeah, and then
compared
they
to
catch
back
the
then.
Black Plague and die. Right.
That's racist.
That's how that story ends.
Yeah, yeah, but like that's hard to just like to say when we're in the middle of like probably the biggest pandemic.
But it's definitely the most first world problem shit ever to be like they had it so easy back
Probably.
then
Yeah,
without their
that's true.
cars and their
No, I
internet.
didn't say it like that though.
No, I know. I'm
Yeah,
just-
yeah.
It's,
I would
It's
say,
definitely
like-
not easy at all. I wouldn't go back there. I think studying may have been easier. The environment was way different, you know. College was especially different.
college actually meant something.
Oh yeah.
When
you
you-
couldn't
when-
you couldn't just go get
No,
a
because there was like
baccalaureate.
3 of them. When you went to
That's
college
true.
back then, it was a huge deal because
Yeah.
it was like you went to like Oxford, Harvard, Cambridge.
Now,
one of
now
those.
some people say college is a scam, you know.
Well, it's just like now you have so many people with degrees that it's like the workforce isn't looking for that anymore.
It's diluted. Like,
Yeah,
like
it's
to
so
be
diluted.
serious, you got to like you'd be like, oh, you got your GED equivalent of a bachelor's degree.
Yeah, me and Greg have talked about that a lot. We mentioned in the first episode, I'm a master's student. Greg is a PhD student, and it's like you feel sort of inclined to pursue higher education because it's just like the regular bachelor's degrees are just a dime a dozen these days.
Yeah.
It's what it seems like, and it's like I graduated like last August 2019. I started looking for a job, and I don't think I got like a single email back because it's just like,
That's insane to me.
there's so many people out there with bachelor's in cybersecurity
and
degrees.
it's like just like through all of like high school basically. I know for on my end, my parents were like, well, like you either like go to college or you can join the military, and like that's
Yeah.
your options basically to do well in life.
which is a crazy.
Which is insane, dude. Like
Like,
that's
or I
not
could just
that's
get
not
a
the case
job.
at
It's
all.
like,
Yeah.
I could just work.
You can just work, hone your skills, get better jobs going forward. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't make any sense.
It's like I either have to go to university, get in so much debt, or become a Marine. Like
Yeah.
those are my two choices.
I wish
much.
it was more like apprentice based. You know, and especially Germany
That's
does
the
stuff like
thing,
that.
dude.
You
Yeah,
like-
trade
'cause
schools are like
I want to be a
should be
cobbler
bigger.
so bad.
What?
I want to be a cobbler.
A cobbler, like Adam Sandler.
A shoemaker?
Nice.
Yeah.
No,
You look like a shoemaker.
Come on, bro. What does that mean?
his last
I
name's
was just
Flynn,
saying,
bro.
like your head shape.
I'm like, dude, I'm gonna beat your ass. My head
you
is
are 10 feet away from me. I
my
can't
head
say
is
this.
shaped that of a cobbler's.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, cool. I'm glad we're on the same page. I hate
You kind of
of
look like
It's
cobblestone.
peachy.
don't.
It's
All right.
peachy.
Anyway, what were you talking about? We can stop roasting me and get back to apprenticeship.
I don't even know. Oh yeah, so like in Germany, I was so zoned out, and then you just pulled me back with that. Thanks. But in Germany, it's like you do like an aptitude test, and then they do, if you fail, you just go do an apprenticeship, or if you pass, you go to a higher level of knowledge, and then I think they do another. I don't know if this is how they still do it, but this is how I was taught in my German class in high school, and then which is weird. I
You were
don't know
pretty
why.
much there.
Yeah, they were like, we want you to have the full experience. You failed. You're gonna be an apprentice.
They just gave you schnitzel for free.
Yeah. Every day we had schnitzel, wurst, whatever you want to say.
Solid.
Brat.
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 True.
Ooh, brats are good, bro.
But anyway, so the apprenticeship, I feel like if someone, especially like Caleb, wants to do music production, yeah, you can go to school for it, and it's a little different. But I feel like things like that are a lot more hand-on, and you can
Yeah.
learn more based on experience. You know, because of course in stuff like science, it's a little harder because you need a background based knowledge, but a lot of it still is hands-on. Like you got to work with data, you got to do all these other things, but the apprentice side of things should be more apparent.
I would definitely agree that experience-based jobs seems to be the way of the future. Like I think like education is gonna like straight up 4-year degrees are gonna be by the wayside here pretty soon. Because it's like if you could just go to school to become like a mechanic or go to school and learn trade to do
And
like,
make so much money off the rip.
yeah
Like,
so how it's been said to me is like if you unless you really really know what you want to do and that thing involves going to college and you can make money off of it, like a profitable trade, like don't go to school to become an artist, like you could just become an artist.
Yeah,
You don't
for
have to
sure.
get a degree in art to paint.
Yeah.
You don't have to get a degree in literature to write. You can just write. But like if something you really love requires a degree, there's a barrier of entry, then pursue it. But if not, you're better off not going to college.
yeah, I'd give like law, medical, and I guess sciences.
Or unless you're in a fortunate enough position to have your school paid for,
yeah, for sure.
because then you're resisting opportunities instead of taking.
Then
them.
you're just one upping the crowd.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because if school is free for you, free in quotes, obviously, because
Yeah.
someone's paying for it, then you're better off just accepting that opportunity because that's a great opportunity to receive education and learn how to learn. But
Yeah.
like if you have to pay for it, you have to really weigh those considerations.
I think in the U.S. College is really inflated, and it's become kind of an economy, like a money making
100%.
scheme in a way.
Yeah.
And
Scheme is
that's
a
not
great
how it
word.
should be.
No,
Huh?
yeah, scheme is a great word for that.
yeah, it's definitely a scheme. And
It's very schemy.
in Europe, I mean, again, I'm referencing Europe, but college is a way more reasonable rate. But I think here in America too, we have lots of scholarship opportunities that people don't know about, and
That's true.
you really need to treat scholarships like a job, because if you do scholarships for like 3 or 4 weeks, you're probably going to get one. And
Yeah.
think about that. Like if you get paid I don't know, for example, $5,000 for 3 or 4 weeks of just straight up grinding scholarships, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good value for time.
Yeah,
for sure.
And treating that more like a job, and it's a different kind of environment in the way that you have to pay for college, and I don't think it should be that way, but there are always ways to work around with what you got.
My thing, so with that, just kind of as a hypothetical for that,
Yeah.
all these companies or foundations, whatever, have the money set aside for scholarships.
Yeah.
Why not just pay them directly to some sort of,
I get what you're going
I don't know,
at.
like fund to like cut the
To
cost
lower
down of
college?
all
Yeah.
tuitions?
I think it's because
Because then it wouldn't look good for them.
it's so
You
convoluted.
can't have your own fund. It's like everybody. They need to be like the UCA or USAA fund for scholarships. It's like it just looks good. Like they're not in it.
But yeah,
to
I mean,
help
you could
people
be
learn.
like,
They're in it because it looks good.
that's true. I mean, but you could put somewhere in the fine print like, oh, part of your scholarship was paid for by USAA. Like,
well, it's like
True. That's true.
I will listen to I listen to NPR, and people donate to NPR, and if I need to do something
Which is
related
wild to me, by the way,
what that they donate to
that
it?
they donate to like a nationally funded organization.
It's not. It's
not.
It's only viewer
it's
funded.
public
Oh,
radio.
I thought it's
It's
national public radio.
Yeah, it just means national. It's not like yeah. What'd you say at first?
It's national public radio. That's what
Yeah.
NPR stands for.
No, it's Nashville Public Radio.
Oh, it's Nashville public radio.
In NPR.
yeah, and so I think if
Oh well, I'm just wildly misunderstood then because I thought it
Yeah.
was like I thought it was like Congress's radio station.
no, they'll
It's
get
like-
on for like 2 weeks out of the. I think they do.
It's like PBS.
they do like
Oh,
summer
okay.
and winter
Yeah.
drives, and they're like
government shills.
We need
Yeah.
money or we can't keep operating. They're like,
It's like Wikipedia, actually. If you
I
want to
give
think about
money
it
to
that way.
Wikipedia. Dude,
yeah,
I
same.
I don't know how I wanted to talk about this. I wasn't sure how to segue to it, but like I talked to my dad recently. I was like, "Have you ever donated money to Wikipedia?" But like I do every once in a while. I'll give him like $5 or something.
Yeah.
If I'm using something like once a week or more, I donate to it.
It's an incredibly valuable asset.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why I pay for YouTube Premium too, because I was listening to
100%.
some YouTubers talk, and they make a lot of money actually off Premium. And I was like, I can't donate to them all individually because I enjoy a lot of people. But when I
Sure.
view them, if my view counts as more because I pay for it, and
Yeah.
I pay for, and I also get ads removed out of that, I'm gonna do that.
You can like the same thing applies to like Apple Music and Spotify and stuff too. Like,
Really?
well, I guess Spotify more than Apple Music because Spotify actually has a free like instance of it.
Yeah.
But if you pay for Spotify, then you're actually giving, or at least raising the like per stream limit of
Okay.
of like payment.
Interesting.
And like rates and stuff.
Yeah.
And see, that's what I like. I think that kind of market is easier because it helps people that don't have as much to give.
Yeah.
And so I donate to Khan Academy, Wikipedia.
Oh, you donate to Khan?
Yeah, I used it a lot my freshman and sophomore year. Like I was using it every day.
Dude,
So I was
sophomore
like,
year he was my teacher for math.
dude, Sal.
Sal
Yes,
Khan,
I love
yeah.
his voice. I don't know why, but I really like his voice too.
He's when we get big enough, I want to have Khan on, dude.
That would be great.
If we ever get
He'd
big enough,
school us though.
yeah. I mean, I don't
He'd
know.
be like, "Do you know how to graph a parabola?" And I'd be like, "I mean, yeah," but and then
It's
he'd
like-
just show me the perfect way to do it.
It's like we just asked you about your favorite pizza. What do you mean?
He's like,
That
"You
would
want to
be
learn
like
how
a-
to factor, right?"
That would be like a dream guest, honestly. Snoop Dogg and Khan Academy.
Whoa,
Come on,
dude.
you-
a
Come on,
joint
you don't want,
episode.
you don't want your room fucking just filled
Higher
with
learning?
smoke, bro.
Higher
learning.
learning. That could be the episode title.
That would be it. We got to do that.
If
now.
any of our listeners know either Snoop Dogg or Sal Khan,
or you
Dude.
are,
Or you are Snoop Dogg or Sal Khan.
Sal from Khan Academy, please reach out to us. That would make my whole life. Actually.
honestly,
I'd just be content,
John Cena's another one.
dude.
I'd love to have
Well,
John
yeah,
Cena.
but we
just
can't
wouldn't be
see
able to-
him.
Damn it.
Yeah, I knew Caleb was scheming something, and I just hear, "Damn it!"
Stole his vibe, dude.
Oh. Yeah,
It's-
he'd be here. We
It's
just wouldn't know.
interesting too to touch back on Wikipedia because it's like in high school when we were writing like quote unquote scholarly articles, you weren't allowed to use Wikipedia as a source. But it's
And
like
that
now,
was so bullshit.
But
That's some
Wikipedia
bullshit.
lists all the sources that like fill the page, which was what I did eventually, like junior and senior year, and then some of college. Like I was like, well, I'm not going to use Wikipedia
you
directly,
could just use the sources.
but I'm going to go to the sources.
Exactly. That's what I did. If the teacher was somehow stubborn, and in college they got away from that. In high school they were definitely like, "Don't use Wikipedia."
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know why you think it's not okay, but maybe they learned when they were in college not to. And I get that because it used to be less
Yeah,
moderated, but
Wikipedia
it's
wasn't
pretty
a thing
moderated now.
back then.
Well, for a lot of the tools that like in cybersecurity, a lot of the tools that you use, there aren't a ton of like public information, like public resources for specific cybersecurity tools.
Yeah.
And oftentimes, like Wikipedia is going to be one of the only ones that'll have like who made it, when it was made, where it was made, all that kind of stuff, like what it's for. So it's like usually when I'm writing lab reports and stuff, like Wikipedia is pretty much, it's like all over my source list.
Well, and then also it's you can just sign up as anyone, like, and say I know something specific about space physics, my research field, I can go add a page, and that's why it's unique.
They've gotten a lot better with moderating it too.
Yeah.
Like, because I remember when I was in middle school, we would make a game. Actually, we would like someone would be like. Give you a name, like we'd be like Abe Lincoln, and then someone would change something, and then you'd have to see, like, you'd have to try to guess what changed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, like in middle school, it's like, oh, he didn't die in 2011.
That's so cool. You can still like,
which is like totally an abuse of the system, but like, it's a fun
for
game.
sure. You can still do that with like page editing. That could be kind of a cool,
HTML.
like, yeah.
Well, you can just edit Wikipedia too. I still edit Wikipedia occasionally because you just do like page cleanup. But there's certain pages that are like higher traffic that I think they have to get approved by, like, if there's someone who adopts the page or whatever.
Oh, interesting.
That holds up, yeah.
That makes sense. You have to get like a verified account or something, probably.
Yeah, and so I've done small edits. Like I was looking at how coaxial cable works, and
Hell yeah.
I was just reading the coaxial, because you know how Wikipedia is.
Yep.
It's like you're just on something random, and then you click 15 times, and you're so deep. You know what I mean?
Me and Caleb used to. Speaking of that, we used to play a game in. We had this class together.
Oh, I think I know.
It was called
Everyone
Web
played.
Tech. It was like the Wikipedia game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was like you would
like the 6th degree of
the
like,
6 degrees of Wikipedia or
Yeah.
something like that. So you would get a topic, and you had to see how fast or in how few clicks you could get from one topic to the other. So it would be like pizza
based on just the hyperlinks within the Wikipedia page.
So you would get like your one would
Yeah.
be like pizza, and then you had to get to Tony Hawk, and you had to see like
So you had to click on links embedded
Yeah.
in the page and get to Tony Hawk.
Yeah, it's like I could get to Tony Hawk from pizza in
We
like
spent-
11 clicks.
You know the
Hours
most
and
common
hours on
use of
that.
that, right? The Adolf Hitler. Everyone uses it. Like, if you can, and I know that's a weird
like how
segue
far
too.
like how far are things
how
from
far
Adolf Hitler?
how
But
many
they-
degrees are things from Adolf?
There's like a theory that every page on Wikipedia is within 3 clicks to Adolf Hitler.
Oh, interesting.
Because he's so scarred. He's scarred humanity, in history. And so that was at my school. That was what you do, is like get a random page, and then if you couldn't get there in 3 clicks, you lost or something. But most
Interesting.
of the time, you could if you did it right. If you go back,
That's
you
not a
can
very
do
good game, right? It's got a super high success rate.
Well, no, it was hard
It's
because you had to. It was like a maze. You had to navigate it right.
Right.
like
So-
you had to find the links to
Yeah.
do it.
because it was like someone would get it, but not everyone would get it. And then in your case, it was who did it in the least amount of
Yeah,
clicks.
yeah.
So it was a little bit different.
There's actually another version of that I really enjoy as a music buff, I guess.
Mhm.
But it is like the 6 degrees of like, I think it's just music. But basically, you pick an artist and you pick another artist, and it'll like show you how many people like they've worked with, and like how it connects to each other.
Oh wow.
And so I think the
Does it
website
make, like, a cool
is
map of it or something?
whosampled.com.
So it's like a web of
Yeah.
like, who's worked
So it'll
with
be
who.
like Kanye West. It's gonna be easy. I don't know.
Kanye West has worked with everybody.
Yeah, I was like, let me
And
do
Bruno Mars.
like Watsky and like Eminem or something like
Right.
that. It'd be like, well, Watsky worked with Anderson .Paak, who worked with Eminem. So
Right.
that'd be like 2 degrees. But like it'll
Oh.
be like really cool things. You can pick some like obscure artists, and it's like everyone's worked so closely with everybody.
And then what if
That's
they've had
interesting.
like a lot of like Dre and Eminem? Like, would they have just a ton of people?
There'd be so
Or
many
would it
less
just
than-
be just
it
one
would,
to
it
one?
would probably just show the 1-to-1.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
I'm sure it probably has a list. I haven't
Yeah.
seen it in like 2 or 3 years, but
So
like
you could do like some really old artist to like
Yeah.
a modern artist, like Lil
Well,
Baby to like the Beatles.
and you can
Yeah.
this website is
That's
who
wild to
sampled,
me.
and I use it a lot because like a lot of artists I listen to like use old 70s like jazz and like soul and stuff. So I like to be like, oh, what is this song sampled from, so I can maybe see it and listen to it. But like, so you can decide in the settings, like, do you want it to be just featured artists, or do you want it to be like if Kanye West sampled like ABBA or something like that?
Okay.
Yeah, and
That's
that
cool.
would be a degree if he sampled it, but you can turn it off and it'd be like way further probably.
I was about to say
Super
that would
neat.
that would
Yeah.
that would make it a lot easier to connect them, right?
Yeah.
The
So for those
sampling.
music buffs out there, feel free to check that out. It sounds like
That
a
is pretty
super,
cool.
a super
What is it
unique
called?
resource.
The website's called Who Sampled.
We gotta
Awesome.
drop both those in the
Yeah.
description.
Ian,
So
I
people can
kind
just
of want to
play
make
them.
it a running gag where I say I'll add something to the show notes.
Just
and then
don't
put
do it.
anything in the
Yeah,
show
you're
notes.
pretty good about
Because I
that.
did that last episode.
Yeah.
I said there was going to be 2 things in the show notes, and I never put them in.
Sweet.
So I was
Yeah,
thinking
there's
about it
some
this
show notes?
episode.
No.
It's like, yeah, for now on, we're just going to say it'll be in the show notes, and then they just won't be
Can we
there.
just make them like
So
empty links?
so don't check down below.
Yeah, don't check down below. Just do your own
Look,
research.
look everywhere but here.
Our show notes are some bullshit, honestly. So
Honestly,
No
they are
point.
some
no
bullshit.
point in looking down below.
That's
we
really
could
funny.
fix the some bullshit with it though. Just
Nah.
saying. Oh, you're right. It's not
fix
possible.
shit. Cool. I don't think we had to guess the story this week, did we?
No, we didn't have a guess the story.
Well,
I was gonna do Flash the Teacher as a guess the story, but it's like it's in the name. What
Yeah.
happened, so
True. I was thinking like, hold on, let me see.
Let me see if I can just think of anything.
So
I'm gonna Jimmy Neutron
my
this.
idea with it was like, what if we don't find a story? Like, it could be like a straightforward story, but we come up with a title that kind of describes it, and people have to guess the real story based off of like the fake title.
Interesting.
And so
What do you mean by? Oh,
I found an article.
okay.
I don't know anything about it,
Okay.
but
This is the first time we're hearing about this.
this
so.
this is improv right here. This is something.
Better not be some bullshit.
This one I'm gonna simply call Quick Tech.
Oh God. That could be
I listen
anything.
to Tech Quickie on YouTube.
No, not Linus's sub channel. That man has so many YouTube channels.
Yeah, that's
Linus,
called money.
The Linus Media Group has
I need-
so many YouTube channels.
I need to get into him, honestly.
I mean, it's great content.
Okay, dude.
Phrasing.
I've never
I
never
really
been
want to
attracted.
get into Linus.
I've been into Linus for a while
I've been
now.
watching Linus for so long, but
Yeah.
his I don't watch any of the other channels, dude.
Really?
I can't. I watched
been
the
watching-
WAN show, which is I'm pretty
That's
sure
okay.
posted on Linus Tech Tips.
Yeah.
But like, I'm really only in it for his personality. A lot of people don't like him, but
Yeah.
like, I feel like that's why a lot of people watch. Some people get involved in the umbrella, like Caleb with Rooster Teeth.
Yeah,
But like for me, I'm
Yeah.
really only into it for like that specific entity.
that's fair.
Yeah, for me, if it's free, I'll stay in that free umbrella.
There you go.
Yeah, but
Even though
like
you pay
with
for
like
YouTube.
GMM, Good Mythical Morning, I want to join the Mythical Society, but then I'm like, I don't want to pay for
You
it.
wanna
They
see where-
monetize everything.
Yeah, they do.
I
Greg
wonder.
just wants to see where the wheel spins, dude.
I know, right?
That's just on Good Mythical More. You just got to click
Yeah.
He's obviously not a mythical.
They say it
beast.
at the
Not
end.
cool.
through. Yeah. I've been a Mythical Beast forever, so
I know since like day one. I came out of mythical.
I hate
Beast.
all of this.
I came out of Mythical Beast.
Wait, we're getting off topic. We're off topic. So what
There
is?
was
what are
no
we-
topic.
there was, I mean, there
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
was a topic, but no.
So are we supposed to like guess the story, or what was it again?
Yeah, guess the story based off of the fake title, or like the
Quick
obscure
Tech?
title. Did I say Quick Tech or
Yeah,
Fast
you said
Tech?
Quick Tech.
Yeah,
Because I
whatever.
said Tech Quickie.
Yeah, that's right. Quick Tech. Yeah,
So it's QT, the
yeah.
Gas
QT,
station?
Yeah. Oh, that place is awesome. Let's talk about that.
I do love QT.
hard drives, solid state drives.
I was thinking.
Speedy
I
Tech.
was thinking something like Tesla cars.
Yeah, something quick.
Okay. This is are those your final answers?
Hmm.
I'll give you one more as a group if you want to discuss it.
Quick Tech. So like, I was thinking solid state drives. So
Yeah, I
pretty
mean
quick.
that would have been my second guess.
But like, he would say Tech.
Quick Tech.
Caleb's like a pretty sporadic guy, so quick may be a kind of arbitrary.
Maybe it's actually slow.
So we know it's for sure Tech.
It's
Like he's not gonna
actually
say.
slow.
Like,
This
he's,
is-
he's
yeah,
being,
right.
he's being ironic.
So we're talking about
It's a
go
joke.
karts. Arm chips. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. The full title of this post article is Light-Based Quantum Computer Exceeds Fastest Classical Supercomputers.
Oh shit.
In what aspect though? Because I don't believe it's overall better. Not yet, at least.
I'm going to pull up the full article. But
It says
Yeah, that's
faster.
probably too deep of a question without reading all of it. Yeah. Whoops.
Yeah, nobody in this
Yeah,
room
you're gonna
does-
quote. Can you give me a source, please?
I just figured we could like talk about the logistics of it or think
Quantum
about it.
computing's super cool.
I got actually on the topic of quantum computing. I got rejected from 2 IBM quantum computing internships.
Oof.
What a great topic.
Yeah, they didn't want me.
Yeah, well, that's just reapply. Just keep it going.
Just keep spamming them.
Yeah, just be like, I really want this.
I'll just send it in until you get tired of me.
Yeah, and then we gotta get this guy in here.
The
So
industry
just
will
shut
hate
up.
me.
But no, quantum computing I think super cool. The only hard aspect is just keeping stuff so dang cold.
Yeah, it's got to be. It's got to
Yeah.
be
It's like
near
micro
zero,
kelvins.
or near absolute zero.
Yeah, as close as they can get. It's crazy because my professor was talking about the other day. There's this like way to detect light in astronomy, and it uses a super cooled conductor, and so it has to be in microkelvin. And at our research institute, they were trying to get it up to just regular Kelvin, like 1 to 4 Kelvin versus like 5 microkelvin.
It starts at microkelvin?
Yeah, so it has to. Right now, the detector can only run in microkelvins. So like I don't know, for example, 5 or something.
Right.
But apparently, there's a massive difference, which kind of makes sense. Like from 5 microkelvin to 1 to 4 Kelvin. It's like you wouldn't think there'd be that much of a difference, but
No.
I guess it's because as you start to remove energy, there's such a bigger gradient to move the energy further. To move it again, it just takes way more energy, which is weird to think about.
I mean, there's a solid chance that this whole conversation went over a lot of our listeners' heads. I don't want to call anybody dumb, but that was a very high level conversation, and I hardly understood any of it.
I was reading, so I didn't get any of that.
Yeah, you were just in your phone. You're like,
Caleb wasn't paying any attention. But anyway,
turns out he's just a quantum computing expert now.
quantum computers are kind of cool, though.
Yeah, right.
just to circle back. No, I mean,
It was never
Qubits.
supposed to be like a full topic. It was just supposed to be like let's see if we can figure it out.
right.
Like,
I mean, yeah, we are approaching the end of the episode, so I mean, it's not.
yeah.
It was worth the extra minutes to kind of goof around and talk about it, I think.
You know, and I also wanted to ask why farts, burps, and sneezes aren't optional.
Okay. Is that our parting? Is that our parting thoughts there?
Our parting-
Is that
That may be our parting thoughts.
This is something I put in the topics for episode 2, but we're left better excluded from episode 2.
I don't think that's a full topic.
'Cause the
Come on.
episode-
episode 2 is so serious?
Yeah,
Like,
episode 2 is way too serious to have a conversation about farts, burps, and sneezes.
it's like at least we talked about butt cracks in this one. So
Yeah, so I mean, you can kind of navigate from butt cracks to farts and burps.
Extended cab, dude.
Okay. But anyway, I'm a very gassy individual.
I'd say same.
like a Jupiter type.
Yeah, I'm a
gas
gassy
giant.
body.
He's
Yeah,
a
I
gas
have a
giant,
gassy
yeah.
body. And
You're
I
joking,
burp a
Brian.
lot. So if I drink soda, like especially sodas with artificial sweeteners in them, I burp so much, and it's annoying because you don't necessarily.
So if you drink like a regular Coke, you
It
wouldn't
doesn't
burp
make
that
me
much?
burp as much. No,
But then if you drink
like
a
Coke Zero,
Zero.
makes
Are
me
you-
burp so much.
Are you
more.
just allergic to like
probably
Splenda or some shit?
No, I don't think so.
Aspartame.
But it just fills me up in this way where it's like I just gotta get the burp out, and it's like I wish
There's no way.
I wish you could just choose not to. That's what I was thinking about. It's like I wish I could just be like, no, I don't want to burp. or I
Because
don't-
when I read that, I thought if I wanted to fart, maybe I could just burp instead.
oh no, like not interchangeable.
Interchangeable. Yeah, I guess that would have been more.
I was
No.
thinking like a pop-up.
No, like so like
It's a pop-up.
Do you
like-
want to fart?
well, like
no.
farts are like a big scam too,
A
right?
Windows Explorer.
Yeah. And it's like Clippy, the little old. It's like you have to fart. Would you like to delay it? Yes, snooze.
Not Clippy, dude. Well, like farts are a scam too, because I have this memory of when I was a
Farts are a scam.
I had this memory of when
Dude,
I was
come
a
on.
kid. We were taking like standardized testing in Alaska, and I was holding in farts for like the entire like hour and a half
I
during
just
the
would have
test.
ripped.
No. So I was holding them in. I was holding them in, like not letting them out at all.
Oh,
and
no,
then
big one.
and then like my stomach, dude,
Mhm.
it got turned
Yep.
inside out, and then I went to the bathroom
Yep.
and just like leaked water, dude.
Yep.
What does that mean?
Like it just was.
Like,
what do you mean? What does it mean, dude? I turned into
From
a
which
chocolate
way?
factory.
Oh.
Yeah.
You were just a sink?
Yeah.
Do you ever
Damn.
get like the gas issue where like where your stomach just go?
Yes.
Yeah.
If I like when I was in testing and I held it in,
Yeah.
the longer and more I held it in, my stomach would just make noise to like relieve the pressure.
And
I
then
guess.
and then it's like your stomach is louder than possibly the fart was.
Yeah, at
So
least it's not a
like,
fart though, or you know. But at
so
the same time,
realistically, testing needs to get abolished because it's preventing
It's
people
just
from
keeping-
farting. It's keeping us gassy.
what if we had fart mufflers?
That's beautiful.
Dude, you're not putting a muffler anywhere near my butt.
no, it's like built into the underwear. Yeah, it's like brr, brr, brr. You just like idle.
Oh my god.
All right, that's enough.
Everyone
bro.
idles so that
That's
you don't
enough.
know when you fart.
Yeah, it just ripping at idle. Everyone's just like letting out a little gas.
He's revving right now.
Yeah, we can just end the podcast there, honestly.
Yeah,
that's
that's
probably pretty
definitely enough.
Yeah,
for me.
I mean, hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
And be sure to rate and like and subscribe and follow and share to your friends and family.
Oh, and by the way,
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
adios.